computer software industry. Everyone is familiar with that industry, and everyone knows that it is fast-growing industry with high level of competition within it. And you can see that sometimes competitors, they move from one kind of, they might be only hardware manufacturers, and then they become software producer, and they could be vice versa, right? And majority of companies are overvalued if to compare with companies in other industries, but it's normal valuation among those companies. Now, very often you can find companies which have and sell only niche product or services, right? And future uncertainties influence a decision to cut spending in a lot of businesses, because a lot of businesses, they don't know what is happening with increase of interest rate, still certain restriction with COVID in China. A lot of businesses not sure what is going to happen with their particular business, not even in IT industry or software industry. And what they do, they don't invest money into that particular field. Although from another side, we understand that at the moment, nobody can survive without computers and software. And sooner or later, you would have to spend money in order to upgrade it, right? So, and change it. So that's why even if they don't spend it right now, so they're going to spend for the same software in the future and probably spend more money for updating them. Now, also for the last couple of years, we could see that a lot of businesses, like brick and mortar businesses, they moved online, and it is necessary now for them to have investing into the certain software which allow them work in that field, in online field. Okay, so and of course they have to buy online software. Now, it isn't easy to establish quality of the product without deep analysis and understanding that. And I already mentioned before that I probably hadn't invested into this industry or anything related to computers within my first 5 years of investing, because I really didn't understand the product. And only after I started meeting guys in our investment club, I learned quite a lot about different companies, and actually about VMware. So one of our members kind of explained me a lot about this particular company and how strong it is, and what kind of competitive advantages this company has. So that's why I chose that company previously last year, like it was January 2021, and I bought it there and I made good money on it. So, and this time probably will do the same. Then it's easier to keep sales and profit steady for big companies because they can manage their expenses, and also they have power of influence. So it's much more difficult for small companies to survive. For example, if a company has only 5-10 clients and then one client drops, or leaves that company, so they can lose practically the ability to make profit. So this is a very, very big concern for a lot of small companies. Also, high loyalty of the clients because of high switching costs. And especially if we're talking about today's company, VMware, so what happens there, that it's like a core structure, and VMware offers this type of software, then you have to put other applications on the top of that. So if you want to change the provider of this kind of core software, you would have to spend a lot of money in order after that to implement and put back all your applications in your business which you're using. So, and it is quite costly, and also it takes quite a lot of time. So that's why people who already purchase subscribe to certain company in this industry, they most likely going to stay with that company for quite a while, right? This is the case now. And high volatility of profits in small companies, as I explained, because if some clients leave, so the company might lose quite a lot of revenue, and vice versa. If extra client come, so they might make a lot of money. Now, and very often speed of growth depends on frequency of acquisition of smaller companies. Sometimes it's not even smaller, like I've already seen when like multi-billion-dollar companies to buy each other, practically the same size. You might say it's acquisition, but the way it's structured, it's like a buying process. So it constantly happens like that. And when you try to look at the balance sheet, you might see a consequence of that, high goodwill, right? Because if you buy like smaller companies for higher prices, so of course you have high goodwill then on your balance sheet. So you have to take it into consideration when you analyze the companies. All right, this is generally software industry, and you can see that one of the biggest companies is Microsoft there, and VMware take a small fraction of that industry, but still pretty big among other companies included that. So when you read about this, you can see that Valuline is very positive about this industry. It gives it rank number 2, so it means that one of the best companies with the highest potential for growth in the next 12 months for this particular industry. So which is pretty positive for us, right?